Welcome to Warrior Startup, where we cover everything from how to build your company from an idea to landing that 6 to 7 figure investment from investors such as myself. And today we're going to cover the 7 types of investors that you can approach to fund your startup. And if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. As you probably already know, there is more than one type of investor to fundraise from. So how are they any different from each other? Which one might be a good match for you and when? Once you know who to pitch, it's all about perfecting the pitch deck and the executive summary to close your round of funding. So diving in, number 1 is the friends and family round. So the first type of investor entrepreneurs should be approaching at the very beginning are friends and family and close personal contacts. At this stage, there's very little hard evidence and proof to base a real investment or funding on. So they're essentially investing in the idea that you have, and more importantly, they're investing in you. These are people that you already know, like, and trust, and believe in you the most, really. So this type of investor may not provide a whole lot of money. It could be in the range of $1,000, but anywhere up to $200,000. And if you can't raise money from this group, other investors are probably going to ask themselves why. So it's really important to actually focus on this group. And if you don't have any contacts, there is always an easy way to explain that. That leads to number 2, banks and government agencies. Now, these aren't true investors like the others on this list, but they can be a source of capital for your startup. And traditional banks are generally not an easy source of capital for early stage startups and small businesses as well. However, as you gain traction, they may offer your business credit cards, credit lines, and merchant advance loans. And there may also be government programs providing grants for certain types of projects. And they don't really require giving up equity in your company, which is a positive side, but they can impact your profitability, and that also may show up when you try to raise money from other investors later down the road. And one thing to note about government programs is that many instances they come up with certain restrictions and limitations, which may be burdensome for your startup. And with this in mind, founders should review very carefully what expectations are for your loan that you're getting. Number 3, angel investors such as myself. Professional angel investors are normally approached when it comes to the seed rounds and sometimes Series A, but they're willing to fund smaller operations than VCs. And they may be more flexible in the terms, and they can also offer you, value and wisdom, and also their connections when they get into the weeds. Angel investors also can be approached directly online and through live pitch events or through introductions from other startup founders, which makes them easier to get in contact than most of the people on this list. Number 4, angel groups and angel syndicates. So angel groups have been increasing over the last decade, and they have also become more popular and more organized. These are groups of angel investors who band together to make investments in startups, and this enables them to invest with more confidence, also with a larger tech size, and then a lower exposure to risk. Now, where do angels and angel investors mostly go? That leads to number 5, accelerators and incubators. So these are vehicles that ultimately can be a gateway to a variety of types of investors on this list. And if you're accepted into one of these programs, you may receive anywhere from $10,000 to $120,000 in seed money to cultivate your idea and then gain traction while benefiting from the additional knowledge and resources. And if everything is going well, you'll be pitching at larger investors and be introduced to funding sources during their demo days that can help you take your startup to that next level. And just be ready to hustle. These programs want speed and they want to get you through that early stage as quickly as possible. That will lead to number 6 on the list, venture capital firms. So VCs are really the holy grail of investors for fundraising entrepreneurs. They come with the biggest checks, the most power to fuel the success and gaining market share, and then the most juice when it comes to achieving more credibility and visibility. Lately, more venture capital firms are looking at and participating in early funding rounds, but it is more likely that you will see these investors show up in the secured Series A, B, C funding rounds, and so on. So just keep note that not all these venture capital firms are created equal. The best match can be influenced by the location, the timeline of their funds, their interest and expertise in certain fields, and then their power to help you get to that next stage, and of course, how they treat their founders. A more widely unknown source of funding is number 7, corporate investors. So investing in startups carries a variety of benefits for big corporations, including supporting their own growth numbers, diversifying their assets, and identifying talent and technology, which can help them fend off industry changes and fuel revenues and profits. So some have funds to invest in outside startups, and more are launching their own accelerator and incubator programs and ecosystems for cultivating these opportunities. So these investors can be great allies for taking your business to that next level. And they can be quite different to work with, and any integration or collaboration on sales channels, systems, customer bases need to be really approached carefully and with a lot of patience. Founding entrepreneurs and corporate investors often have completely different styles and perspectives, so it's going to be vital for you to learn and understand each other, to have some sort of boundary set up when you're going in. So in summary, you can see from this list that there are a wide variety of very different types of investors for funding startups. Some are very specialized in stages and funding rounds that they'll invest in. However, the lines are increasingly blurring. So think of this more as like a ladder and not an A to B menu list. As your startup grows, different sources of capital will be more advantageous and valuable in fueling the next level of your growth. So understanding these differences will be invaluable for an efficient fundraising campaign and targeting the right investors at each raise. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, then you'll probably enjoy these videos on your screen. And again, consider subscribing so that you can get the latest videos on building your startup and finding investors.